At 74, Sam Elliott finally stepped forward to address a rumor that had quietly shadowed his life and career for decades, a rumor fans whispered about but never truly understood. For years, Elliott remained the image of stoic strength. His deep voice, unshakable composure, and iconic Western presence made him nearly impossible to read. Yet behind that rugged exterior lived a man carrying a private story he had never allowed the world to hear. When he finally chose to speak, his words revealed a softer, deeply human truth hidden beneath the legend. Elliott admitted that long before Hollywood recognized his talent, long before he became the mustached symbol of American grit, there was a woman who had already seen the real Sam. She met him before the fame, before the spotlight, before the expectations. She believed in him when he was still just a young man, with a dream so fragile he barely dared to speak it aloud. Elliott confessed that this woman was not a co-star, not a Hollywood beauty, and not someone the public would immediately recognize. Yet she shaped every part of the man he eventually became. Their connection wasn't built on red carpets or film sets. It was formed in quiet moments, in long conversations, in a time when both were trying to understand who they were and where they fit in the world. He described her as the person who steadied him, who held his confidence together when roles were scarce and success felt like a distant promise. Whenever he questioned whether he belonged in Hollywood, she reminded him of the fire she saw in him long before anyone else noticed it. For decades, fans believed Elliott kept his heart guarded because of his tough, stoic persona. But the truth was very different. He had protected this memory, this love, with the same intensity he brought to his most iconic roles. He explained that life took them in different directions. Opportunities arose, and sometimes timing is the most unforgiving force of all. They didn't part out of anger or betrayal. They simply drifted along the paths their dreams carved for them. Still, she remained the one person he looked back on with a mixture of gratitude, nostalgia, and unspoken longing. When he finally used the words, "She was the love of my life," it wasn't a dramatic revelation meant for headlines. It was the quiet truth of a man who had lived long enough to understand the weight of missed chances and cherished memories. Elliott admitted that every success, every iconic role, every award carried a small trace of her influence. She had helped him believe in himself when belief was all he had. And even though their lives unfolded separately, her impact stayed with him like a shadow he never wanted to escape. As he spoke, it became clear that this was more than a confession. It was the closing of a chapter he had never fully allowed himself to revisit. It was a rare glimpse into the vulnerable heart of a man the world had only seen as unbreakable. And in sharing this long-guarded truth, Sam Elliott finally gave voice to the story behind the rumor. The quiet, enduring memory of the woman who once stood by him, shaped him, and remained, in the deepest part of his heart, the love of his life.